What's up guys, this is Anson here and welcome back to a brand new Discord JS tutorial. Today I'm going to show you guys how to temporarily mute a user. Okay, so it's really easy. It's really not hard. In the previous video I showed you guys how to mute a user indefinitely. So what I mean by indefinitely is that we didn't specify a duration to mute them. So it's just kind of like, you know, perma-mute them, or like you just mute them for as long as you want and like until you want to unmute them. So in this case we're going to do a temp mute, which is literally the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste literally this whole thing. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say temp mute, and what I want to do is I'm going to do the same exact thing. Everything in here is the same thing as up here. I just copied and pasted. Okay, the only thing we're going to change is inside this else. Okay, so to go through this code real quick, all I'm doing is var args equals message.content.split. I'm just splitting the parameters based on the spaces, right? I'm tokenizing it, right? So args is going to hold all of the tokens, and then what I'm doing is I'm finding the role. I'm getting the role object itself, right? And I'm basically saying, okay, let's find the role through the collection of roles, okay? And then I'm finding the correct member, and then I'm just checking if the member has the role, and if they do, we're not going to do anything because they are already muted, right? Now if they're not muted, we're going to mute them, and then we're going to unmute them after a certain amount of time. So for this case, I'll show you a cool example. I'll show you a quick example real quick, and it's really easy. We're just going to use the set timeout function. Okay, and this takes in a callback function, but I'm just going to use a simple excuse me, a simple arrow function that takes no parameters. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say member to mute, remove role, mute role.id. So this and this is literally like excuse me, these two things are like inverses. This adds them to the role and this removes them from the role. It's literally that easy. Okay, let me actually, I think I should zoom in so you guys can actually see this a lot better. Okay, so yeah, member to mute, you remove the role from them, and the reason why we don't have to check if they have the role or not is because if we're inside this else case, right, we already know that if we're inside this else case that they were not muted before and we had just muted them already, right? So since we know that they were just muted, we just wait a certain amount of time, and we know they have the role, so we don't have to check if they have the role, and then we just remove them from the role. Okay, so let's actually test this out and see how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. So this is, this is my ID, I want this. Okay, so it's going to mute this user for a certain amount of time, for 5 seconds I think, right? 5 seconds. What? Oh, what? Set timeout. Oh, whoops, I used the wrong command. It's temp mute. Silly me. Okay, it's temp mute, not mute. No wonder why that wasn't working. I could have sworn. I was like, okay. Wait. We gotta redo this again. We gotta redo this again because they are already muted already. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. So now they are unmuted after 5 seconds, right? 5,000 milliseconds. Okay, so that's really easy, right? But what if, as the moderator, I want to set a different time for every single time, right? Really easy. I'll show you guys how to do that. So all you're gonna do is you're going to pass in one extra argument. So you're gonna pass in the command name, you're gonna pass in the client ID, or you can do this, you can pass in the time first. Alright, so I guess you can specify this as I mean, there's multiple ways you can do it. If you want to do 5 minutes, you can do 5, so that would be 5,000. There should be a function, I think there should be a method that converts minutes to milliseconds. Though I'm not sure, but the easiest way right now is just to pass in milliseconds. Okay, so you pass in the milliseconds, and then you pass in their client ID. Okay, and we're gonna change this, so I'll show you real quick. So let me actually, okay, so once we pass this in, this now takes in this now has 3 arguments. Okay, we have temp mute, the time, and the client ID. Okay, so we actually have to change some code. We have to change arg sub 2, because arg sub 2, the way we're implementing it now, is now going to be the client ID. Arg sub 1 is going to be the time, and temp mute is going to be arg sub 0. And I'm going to pass in arg sub 1 because I'm referencing the amount of milliseconds. Okay, so this all looks good, and let's go ahead and try it out. So let's try 5,000. So we muted them for hopefully 5 seconds, and they're unmuted. So let's try one more time. Let's try 10 seconds. So that's 10,000 milliseconds. So we're just gonna wait about 10 seconds. Maybe like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. 10 seconds later, they're unmuted. And you guys get the idea. If I want to do 20 seconds, I would do 20,000. If I wanted to do 60 seconds, 60,000, etc. Obviously, you can implement this however you want. You can make it so that if it reads in 5, it'll represent that as 5 minutes. Actually, this is really easy. Actually, I don't know why I didn't just think of this right now. But hold on. All you can do is just take args and just multiply it by 1,000. I don't know why I did not think of that. Var ms equal args times 1,000. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it just came to my mind right now. So this should work. Okay, so let's try temp mute. 5 seconds. Okay, mute them for 5 seconds hopefully. There you go. Perfect. So this is actually a lot easier. If you want to do 10 seconds, you just pass in 10. And then after 10 seconds, they're going to get unmuted. So this is actually pretty cool. Like I said, it's really, really easy. And this is a really simple tutorial on how you can use the set timeout function. Like I said, all it does is it just delays the action a certain amount of milliseconds. That's all it does, right? Really simple. So hopefully this tutorial helped you guys out. I don't think there's anything else that I need to mention. So I'm just going to leave the video like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you guys did enjoy it, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Do what you gotta do. If you have any questions, I will leave my Discord tag below, or you can just add me. Doesn't matter. And you can ask me your questions or whatever. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with starting off with your Discord bots. And also what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a repository, and I'm going to put all this code inside a repository. So that way you guys can follow along, you guys can take a look at it and do whatever you got to do. Okay? So I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.